From Trickham, Georgia to Pumpkin Center, California. From Skull Creek, Wyoming to Dead Man Landing, Florida. Let's ride. We want to ride shotgun with you for the next hour, talking trucking with Deaton and Doty. What's going on, everybody?
Yo.
Hello.
What's
Welcome
up?
to the show.
What's up, everybody?
Still on the Halloween theme cities. Christian, did you get us a picture of the Goblin Town, Virginia?
I absolutely did not. I did not.
Well, this week on the show, we're going to send Jim Mackey, like we talked about, to Frankenstein, Missouri. Jim, you missed that part last week, but there's a Frankenstein, Missouri. So Ian's working on a load there for you on your way to Iowa. We want you to stop through and get a picture of the sign. Jim might have us muted. He was getting fuel.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah. Joining us this week on the show, we've got Ray, Jim Mackey, Lee. Lee is not with us tonight. Ray, Jim Mackey, Mark Chavez, Kevin Lewis, and then the usual suspects. Kumar's with us. Ian on the news, our producer, Zach Kern, Joel Howle with Wide World of Sports, Doty, Christian, and myself. So what's going on, Christian?
Another week in paradise, man. We scattered showers, but everything here is going well.
How about in Florida, Mike? Scattered showers?
Always.
No, it's been nice down here lately.
Has it?
Yeah. Cooling off a
Temperature,
little bit.
temperature dropping a little bit. It's not 120.
A little bit. Yeah.
Bow season's in down here too, so that's exciting. Hunting's around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of hunting, and I'll get on to the other things in the show, but
Thank you for the segue.
yeah, I want to get your opinion, drivers. Christian, this happened last night when I was on the phone with you, Christian. My neighbor called me. I missed the call after I hung up with you. I called him back. So my question to you is, if your neighbor trapped and kidnapped your family pet, what would you do? That happened to me last night. Like I said, Christian, when I was on the phone with you, and coming up, we'll talk about that. What would your reaction be if that happened to you?
When you mean trapped, you mean like a steel cage trap, or you mean took
Yep.
inside their house to take care of?
Steel cage trap, took it inside their garage and tried to deny it. So, but we're going to come back to that.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
In the news with Ian Dunlap, Wide World of Sports with Joel Howle, trucking questions with Kumar, where Kumar will battle Jim Mackey, Ray, Mark Chavez, and Kevin. Kevin, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I'm really curious what you would do, Kevin, if that was your family pet. I know Kevin really well.
It's not what I would do. It's what my
We'll-
wife would do.
We'll
I
get
got
into
a pretty
that.
good idea what you do.
We'll get into that a little later.
Oh, I got a little story for that when you get to it.
Okay. All right.
So
That's
do I.
why I got you guys on here.
Perfect.
I got a story about those too.
We're going 2.5 hours.
We're gonna have some
tonight.
time on this. Also, I wanted to mention since Dog the Bounty Hunter was pretty popular when you guys mentioned it last week. So Dog the Bounty Hunter update. He assumes that, in quote, he assumes that Brian Landry is alive, probably not doing well, but alive. He spent months alone in the Appalachian Mountains. So Dog thinks he's still there in the North Carolina mountains. Just putting it out there. The Dog update.
There was a sighting with him. The guy.
There was 10.
Where
I
at?
thought there was 10
But
calls.
It was in Carolina, and he had stopped a guy and
A
asked
dog
for
sighting
directions.
or the Brian sighting?
No.
Brian.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does
So
the Appalachian Trail go through? Yeah, it's got to.
Go
Yeah,
right through there.
I wonder if he's on the AT.
well, he was asking about how to get to California without taking any major interstates. That's the guy. So the guy went and saw an image and said, "Hey, this guy called, or this guy stopped by and said, how do you get to California without any major interstates?"
Yeah, I
They do
saw
still
that
sell map
on the
books, right?
news. What's that, Ray?
They still sell map books, right? At the truck stop.
Yeah.
But he can't walk into a truck stop, Ray.
He's the most noticeable man on the
yeah,
planet right now.
Yeah, but that's an odd thing to ask, even that, like,
Yeah.
It is.
you know what I mean? Like, especially someone from all the way in the Carolinas. You know, if you're in Vegas or something, or Arizona, you know, how do you get to California on some back
I'm
roads?
really
But
shocked that this guy has hid since what, September 10th. We're into almost the end of the first week of October, going on 4 weeks.
It's
I'm
impressive.
totally shocked that he's evaded the law this long.
If he has.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, like the thing is with him too is like he's a pretty like regular looking white guy, like
mhm.
no hair, like no. So like if he like grew out his hair and grew
Grew a
facial
beard.
hair, nobody would be able to find him. He could hide in plain sight just because he,
We need Tommy Lee Jones from The Fugitive. He did a great job.
Well, according to Dog,
Tommy Lee.
according to the Dog, the bounty hunter, he doesn't think he's in Mexico because he doesn't think that the cartel would put up with it. He thinks they would send him back for the bounty or just take care of it themselves. Also, I guess Dog the bounty hunter was saying on CNN one of those news networks the other night that they looked on his Instagram and his social media presence, and he has extensive knowledge of survival and reads a lot about survival out in the wild, and has spent time like 2 months on the Appalachian Trail alone. So you don't do that without knowing how to hide. So
Yeah.
that's probably where he's at.
Or he's gator food.
Right.
I don't buy that. I think they set him up with time to hide, but we will see. So Joel, the pick'em contest, who won last week?
The NFL contest?
Yeah.
The NFL contest winner last week was brought to you by Dawson Truck Lines. Congratulations.
All right, so I don't know if you guys are messing with me. Oh, I'm screen sharing. How'd this happen? There it is. There it is.
How did that
That's how it happened.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that.
cross the pond?
Hey,
Yeah, I thought he was messing with me. I'm like, man, I don't even know. I'm not following like the picks
14
when
and
they
2.
happen. That's great.
That's a
Wow.
strong week.
Picked against the Giants.
And funny thing is, Jim Mackey went 13 and 3, which is hard to do.
Got
And
ripped off.
I didn't tell him he lost. I called him and said, "Congratulations, you went 13 and 3." And then I proceeded to tell him that Christian beat him. So
Yeah,
by
thanks,
one
Chris.
day.
Yeah, we've won on 9 and 7 before.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, you're like batting 1,000 on the questions with Kumar. So this is not really a big deal to you. Apparently,
Okay.
go ahead.
Sorry I blew up like that then.
Apparently, like this messed up a parlay for Brian. It was going to put like $2,500 in his pocket, but the Jets game messed up his parlay. He's like, I'm really glad you won that free football pool.
Wow.
You know, but
I did watch. So I think it was right after the Browns game, because that Jets game went into overtime. And so before they went into the 4:00 games in our area, they played the overtime of the Jets game. So Tina and I watched it, and I was rooting for him. Because I'm not a fan, or I'm not a hater either. So, but I like seeing a rookie quarterback playing well. He did play well, and seeing him get his first win. So that was a pretty exciting end to the game for a Jets fan.
Yeah, I have Charles Jones, Metal Art owner operator, and he calls me and he's like, "One word, big dog, one word. Jets, Jets." So he's been calling me on the weeks they're losing. He's like, "I'm telling you, man, they got it. They just got to get it together." So
yeah,
he's like, "Here they go. They're gonna make a run." So,
and then Mike, Champa Bay, Tom Brady came
Yeah, they
back up
barely
to.
pulled that one out.
Yeah, they lost by a dink off of the field goal post. The Patriots almost beat them. I mean, and that's pretty cool to see a Mac Jones, rookie quarterback, get in there and put his team against the Super Bowl champs. Put his
He
team
looked
in.
good too.
He did put his team
Yeah.
in with a chance to win at the end of the game.
Yep.
So, I think under a minute left. So Joel, how'd the rest of us do on the pick'ems? 14 and 2 for
I mean, we
Christian,
like,
13 and 3 for Jim Mackey. Where were we?
Yeah, and you yourself, I believe you went 9 and 7.
Mhm.
Ian and Zach went 8 and 8.
So did Burke.
Burke did. I'm sorry. Ian went
I
7
guessed.
and 9. Myself went 7 and 9. Thank you, Johnny 5, for bailing me out. Johnny on the bottom end this week, 6 and 10.
Johnny 5 has to put in the $20 for questions with Kumar this week. He was on the bottom.
Had to pick the Raiders.
Pick the
Yeah, I still
Raiders.
got to put $20 in too for less.
Well, Ray, we're kind of going to collect it all up right before the holidays when we donate to St. Jude's. So you just hang on to it, and we're keeping track.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah. So we got Christian, we got Kumar, and we got Burke, all with wins.
so okay, 1 win each.
Yeah. Joel
All
will
right.
be week 5. Right.
I'm taking this week.
Yeah,
I picked everybody who I thought would lose.
he went
so-
right down the left side of the page.
No, that was seriously
week.
last week, and I did as good as
You still beat Johnny 5.
Yeah,
You went,
well, that's not bad. It's home team advantage on the right side.
yeah. Oh no, now you're telling him something. He's gonna be all home team. So,
I picked-
When it's a
all the
toss
left
up, I
side.
go to the home team. So
so all right, Joel. Hey, let's get into some sports. Joel, tell us what's going on in the NFL this week.
Get into some sports.
NCAA college football.
All right. Well, it is October, a very busy time of the year. And if you didn't see last night, classic Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, winner take all. I told you it was going to be 4 versus 5, 1 game playoff, winner take all. Last night it was the Childs coming out on top, sending the Yankees packing. 6-2 is your final. It's tough to work all year long and have it in
One
that
game.
abruptly, and it's going to happen again tonight. We have St. Louis out west visiting the Dodgers. That game out in TBS, 8 o'clock tonight, and somebody will be the number 4 seed tomorrow.
More champagne popping.
Dodgers' second best
Goggle
record
parties.
in the league. That's right. More 6 mil poly parties. But over the rest of Major League Baseball, we have Tampa Bay in first place. We have Houston, second seed. Chicago White Sox will be your 3rd seed. So that will be Chicago White Sox at Houston tomorrow. Boston at Tampa Bay. Over in the National League, as I just mentioned, number 5 St. Louis. 5th seed St. Louis at LA Dodgers. 4th seed tonight. Number 1 seed San Francisco will take on the winner, and number 3 Atlanta at Milwaukee. That game will probably be Friday night, I do believe. Over in NCAA football, going from 10-1 this weekend, we have number 10 BYU hosting Boise State, 3:30 Saturday on ABC. Number 9 Michigan travels to Nebraska, 7:30 to take on the Cornhuskers Saturday night. Number 8 Oregon is idle. Number 7 Ohio State takes on Maryland at home. Number 6 Oklahoma and Texas in the Red River rivalry down the Cotton Bowl in Dallas Saturday. Number 5 Cincinnati hosts
Cincinnati Bearcats, number
Simple
5.
Owls.
Can you believe that?
Friday night, 7 p.m.
They beat. Let's talk about that for a second, Joel, because that's notable.
They beat Notre Dame.
Cincinnati's has never been a player with the big teams, and they're number 5 in the country. They beat Notre Dame, and they're rolling. They
were
look good.
undefeated last year until the very end.
But they didn't even. Yeah, they weren't even. No one was paying attention except
Right.
people that really follow college
Won 5
football.
games.
Yeah.
Played 7 games. So the game of the week, number 4 Penn State travels to Iowa, take on the number 3 Iowa Hawkeyes.
That's going to be a good.
That's going to be your game of the week.
Yeah.
Good game.
I'd give
there.
my prediction, but I want my wife to love me, so I won't.
After the game, we'll give it. Number 2 Georgia at Auburn down on the Plains, 3:30 Saturday on CBS. And number 1 Alabama travels to College Station to take on the Aggies. Texas A&M, 8 p.m. on CBS Saturday night.
Is A&M ranked in the top 25?
They are.
They are.
I only went 10 down. I think
Yeah,
they're
no,
12
I was just
or
curious.
15.
Yeah, I thought they were too, but I wasn't sure.
They'll drop more after this one.
Yeah.
But NBA training camp underway. NHL, the regular season is underway. I looked at the standings today, 0-0. Season just underway. I think game 1 tonight. And over in the NFL, in the AFC East, we have Buffalo Bills leading their division at 3-1. In the AFC North, we have a 3-way tie between the Browns, the Bengals, and the Ravens. In the AFC South, Tennessee holds on at 2-2. And out west, we have a 3-way tie between the Broncos, the Chiefs, and the Raiders. Over in the NFC East, we have Dallas leading their division at 3-1. In the North, Green Bay 3-1. In the South, Tampa Bay and Carolina each 3-1, and out west, the only unbeaten team left, Arizona Cardinals at 4-0.
If anybody hasn't noticed yet, look at the screen behind Joel's news desk. It's
that was all
Tebow.
me, Christian. Sorry.
It's Tebow and Urban Meyer, and the theme is fired.
So Joel, you're fired as of today.
I thought he meant he ditched Tebow for him, but for her. But, yeah.
So yeah, that's
all right. Real quickly, this weekend we got the Rams at Seahawks. That's Thursday. Jets and the Falcons play across the pond in London. 9:30 a.m. start Sunday. Patriots at the Texans. Lions at the Vikings. Eagles at the Panthers. Almost said Cardinals and Titans. Zach.
Sorry.
New Orleans Saints at Washington football team. Titans in Florida to take on the Jags. Miami at Tampa. Green Bay at Cincy. Denver at Pittsburgh. Bears at Raiders. Browns in LA to take on the Chargers. Giants at Cowboys. Niners, Arizona. Buffalo at Kansas City. That's going to be the game. And Monday night, Indy at Baltimore. So there you have it. That's what's
There you
rolling
have it,
in
sports.
Well, we have the Fury Wilder rematch, the third one of the saga this weekend.
Is that
boxing?
Kumar?
That's
So I
boxing.
don't understand the difference between UFC Fight Night and UFC 267. Isn't it all the same? It really isn't.
Pay-per-view is like the numbers, and then
Bellator.
Fight Night's just like regular, like on ESPN.
Rough and Rowdy is really where it's at.
Rough
though.
and Rowdy is,
I would skip boxing, MMA for Rough and Rowdy.
If you're a loser.
Yes, absolutely. Come and join us.
46.
So Doty,
December 10th, we'll be at Coon's house watching Rough and Rowdy.
Yeah.
before we get on to the news, what's been going on in Florida? You want to give us a Florida man update?
Yeah. Let's see. Well, this looks like a Turkish man. First one.
So I did give that to Zach. It's a Turkish man update, but it's a very funny story. I couldn't pass it up.
So a missing Turkish man joins a search party for himself. A Turkish man who got drunk and wandered into the forest later unknowingly joined a search party to find himself.
So before you go any further, he got drunk and went into the forest that night, passed out, and woke up in the morning. But in the meantime, his wife reported him missing. And so wherever he lives in Turkey, they sent a search party out in the forest looking for him. He wakes up and sees people walking around, so he joins, and he knew they were looking for someone. And now go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, he joined a group of volunteers, not realizing they were searching for him. At some point, volunteers began shouting his name, so he asked, "Hey, that's me. Who are we searching for?" They told him his name. Police realized the man they were searching for joined his own search party.
I'm Brian Landry.
I mean, that guy's got to be from Florida.
I think
Right?
Turkey is a lot like Florida of Europe.
Yeah, maybe. That was in the news yesterday on multiple sources, and I just couldn't pass it up.
And then
So maybe we'll continue to follow Turkish man and Florida man.
yeah, I'm sure we could put together Florida man. There's a Florida man in every state, I would imagine. There's some Florida
Parallels
men.
around Kenny.
Let's see. Florida man accused of assaulting roommate with a slice of pizza. Police in Florida say an argument over pizza ended with a man throwing a hot slice at his roommate. According to the Tampa Tribune, the man's room called police after called police after she says Daniel Allen Plunkett tossed a hot slice of pizza at her. She says it struck her left hand. The arrest report also states the woman had sauce on her shoulder. She was not injured.
Sounds like a good night.
So went to jail over assault with a
again.
slice of pizza. Oh,
Where
man.
you in, Holmes? Where did you go in?
A
Throw a
saucy
pizza at
night.
my hyena.
See, and then Florida man rents helicopter, hovers directly above the Hollywood sign and poops on it.
Oh,
As the sun
That's-
was
that's
setting on the
talent.
Hollywood sign, a white helicopter with no doors and decals for Mike. Oh, with no doors and decals for MikeBusey.com could be seen flying around dangerously low and close, blaring the national anthem from a bump box. Multiple eyewitnesses saw Mike Busey. I was or Busey standing out on the outside of the helicopter skids, dressed in a red, white, and blue, dressed in red, white, and blue, along with combat boots and an American flag speedo.
He sounds like a pretty cool.
Is there
guy.
pictures of that?
There's a full blown video.
Is
Oh,
there?
Yeah, just go to that website.
that's crazy.
That's
And then update your
hilarious.
malware right after it.
Right.
Is he related to Gary Busey?
Yeah, that's what I
Very well
saw.
could
The
be.
one was BUSEY, and then the next one was BUSY, and I didn't sure.
Mm.
We're gonna have to get those spell checks
Sounds
next time.
Sounds like Gary.
I just typed too
Busey's son.
fast.
And that's it for the Florida man stuff.
Florida man, Mike Doty. Thanks, Mike.
And Gary Busey.
And Gary Busey. His
Yeah.
cousin, Mike. All right. Christian, how's freight been? What have you been seeing this week?
So this week, actually, it was a little harder, a little more difficult to bump the rates up. For whatever reason, I didn't even look into why, but that's the feedback that I got. Last week we've also had some home time. When we go through the trucking side, it seems to be the tale of home time here, which is nice. The guys get to take the time they need at the house. So we had a good portion of that. But I don't know, it just seemed harder to push rates up this week.
Yeah.
I
wasn't.
noticed
I noticed it a little bit on some short stuff that I booked. I was working on really just one truck, and we run him real short. He's home every weekend in the area. So, but we were still hitting, Ian, what would you say, about $1,200 a load, 200 miles
yeah.
or less. But that's, we were getting a little higher than that a month ago.
Yeah.
But,
I noticed that only in certain areas. I got a couple guys that I did really well. I think they will. Maybe I'll show them next week or something.
Yeah.
But I think they. I got one or two that might be over $4 a mile.
Nice.
But I kept them in the Midwest over to Lake Arkansas. I noticed Texas was tough to get out of.
Yeah.
At a decent rate. Basically, this whole
Mhm.
Southeast was a little tougher than
not
Atlanta.
California.
Oh yeah, California is on fire.
Rocking.
Probably figuratively and literally, but
I just haven't figured out a way to get my guys over there for decent. I mean,
We've been kind of doing
don't
it
know.
creatively. Sparks, Nevada, Reno area.
Mike, talk to Christy. She's got some loads coming out of Texas going over there.
that aren't bad.
oh, really?
Yeah, light too.
And we've been coming down
Okay.
through the Pacific Northwest too, because you can get the money going in there, and then you just kind of dink and dunk your way down, and it's not that.
Christy, where from Middle Earth?
Yeah, on the other side.
Yeah, you guys got Mike going out to Reno, Nevada, and you got him coming right back to Houston for really. He had about a $10,300 a week.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. Zach put it.
Most of my guys, most of my guys aren't want to go to the Midwest or mess with the or the Northwest or mess with the mountains. So, and just shooting them straight over to California almost from anywhere is, when I start putting the numbers together, I can almost get them the same, if not more, by just running
And
them
that's
how
true.
they have
That's
been.
that's a really good point. A lot of guys don't want to go that way when the weather starts hitting. So, we've sent a few guys. They've had some really good 2-week turns. Mark Chavez is with us. Mark's still been running that SoCal to Phoenix, turnaround deadhead back. That's not going away. Mark did run out because he needed to go to our mechanic on this side of the country to get something done that wasn't, he didn't have to have right away. But so this is the first time he's left. Mark, what, in months?
In about 3 months, yeah.
Yeah, he's been back and forth to Phoenix for months. And, and home a couple nights, 2-3 nights a week, probably, and the weekends. So
Well, even sometimes even picking up a load, taking it home, do a 10-hour break, and then take off the next day.
yeah,
Deliver.
that
Take my
run
10-hour
is,
break there and come back. That was pretty good.
there's so much freight going in that lane, and it's paying. So why not do it? And we're not even trying to take something cheap or even look for a backhaul. Just turn and burn and get back
Round
and do it
robin.
again.
Oh, yeah.
Mark's, I go over payroll. Mark's doing fine, and he's getting a lot of home time. So we're just going to keep doing it as soon as he gets back from Georgia. Jordan Yates he recently had a baby on our fleet. Sent us pictures of it. Beautiful little baby girl. Congratulations, Jordan.
Grandbaby.
No, that's Jordan's baby.
No, that's my grandbaby.
Mark's
Jordan is the son I never had.
Yeah. Mark was his trainer when they worked together. When Mark was a trainer at another company years ago. I forgot about
Jordan
that.
is the son I never had.
That's right. So, but Jordan's been doing the same thing. He's been running out and back, and he lives out that way too. So it worked out for him, especially during the last several months of his fiance's pregnancy. He was able to be there for the birth of his daughter. And then isn't Tommy Meeks doing it too, Ian?
He was
Or
starting to, and then just didn't anymore.
Okay. The Tommy
But
does
I mean,
fine.
you gotta understand it was good because the rate was going good enough for you to go in loaded and come back out empty. So
It
you were
still is. Yeah.
averaging about $3 a mile going loaded and 3 miles empty coming back.
I don't want
saving
to
on
give it
fuel.
away so that we can keep our guys keep doing it.
I know what it is.
But no, there's so much freight when you pull up that lane every day. And it's kind of like, it's paying really well on those 300 exact miles. And typically what we do is, the rates are usually posted. You can get a little more than the posted rate if you work it. But we'll kind of just search by weight. At least that's how I've been doing it. Ian's been doing it for Mark and Zach for Jordan. Because if you search, I mean, it's all going to pay around the same money. So in that lane. So if you just try and get the lightest load, you're just making out a little bit more. So that's kind of what we've been seeing.
That's not slowing down either.
No. And especially with the holidays coming up. How many ships, Ian? I mean, we'll get into that in a second, but this week, how many ships anchored?
I'll send a picture.
That's a surprise for the news.
Oh, okay. There's a lot. Yeah.
All right. I like surprises.
So guys, I wanted to tell you, the fishing contest is officially over. Matthew put together the video. It's going, I've already let Denny, who is the owner of Al's Market and Deli right up the road, Ian's favorite place in the world. And I'm not going to lie, it is amazing. But Denny, the owner, I told him to take till Monday. He can, include his family, friends, or whoever. And I told him not fish size. It's just the whole all around picture, whether it's the scenery, it could be size, include, just all the ins and outs of it. And he'll give us a winner. So next week on the show, we'll announce the winner, and $350 gift card will be sent out to them for Gander Mountain. What's the other ones? Gander Mountain, Dick's Sporting Goods, Cabela's is the other big one. So you got whoever wins can pick $200 for the runner up. So thanks everybody for participating. That we'll do it again next year. Also, so we decided to start a beard contest. Mike, I forgot to tell you.
Mike's like, I just shaved.
It's not about the longest beard. Hey, Mackie, are you on with us now?
Yeah, I'm here.
So it definitely can't be the longest beard. And this is till Christmas. So it's just the nicest beard. However, you can trim it
Best
up if you
beard.
want. But because if it was the longest beard, Jim's beard is down to his toes. So it wouldn't work. So everybody's pretty much entered except for Joel, still on the fence. I'm trying to push him off and have him join us. Mike Doty, we want you to join Christians in.
Hey, it's
So
all or nothing. If Joel's not doing it, I refuse to go. I'm in protest.
I'm in.
Joel's going.
Come on, Joel.
Ian's
Let's do this,
in.
brother.
Zach's in.
Ray,
Let's do
are
it.
you
Well,
in?
Same here. I look like a squirrel with stuff in my mouth, but yeah, I'm in.
I think Kumar's in
Can I win
too,
the-
aren't you?
Kumar's
Can I win
in.
the Patchiest beard contest? Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
man.
Zach can't even grow a beard. He only grows a mustache, but he's in.
And
Ray,
this took 5 months to do.
Mark Chavez, are you in the beard contest till Christmas? It's for
I got a
250.
handicap, bro.
It's for
I got a handicap.
$250.
It's $250, man.
And listen, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna wait until we end the contest in December, and we're gonna have some women judge. So maybe we'll have Mike's wife Kelly as a judge, Christian's wife.
No,
they
no.
I'm
they
gonna
will be
win.
biased.
They'll be
completely
They can't
biased.
They can't
need to
pick
be
them.
not involved.
Okay.
Yeah, and my wife would.
Homeless.
My wife hates the
All right.
beard.
Well,
so-
we're gonna have some women judges. We'll figure that out.
Yeah,
We'll
she
find them on the
definitely
We'll
streets.
find them. Okay. I was thinking we can get Kelly, we can get Tina, we can get Carol.
No, yeah, we need
Yeah.
We should get a
Christian's
face-
wife.
we should
Carol's
do a
probably the
face-
most unbiased one of them all.
We could do a Facebook poll,
beard
put it on your
Yeah, you just-
your Facebook
yeah.
page, and
We could do
a
something
poll.
like that.
There we go.
Yeah,
So
I've
Kevin
been posting
Lewis.
on Facebook since 2012.
Yeah.
Kevin, are you in the beard contest?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Does
What do
it have
we-
to be a full beard or goatee?
Oh yeah,
You can do it
that.
You're not
However
allowed to
you-
shave.
You can do it however you want. We're not making any rules, but it's a beard contest. So to win, you should have a beard, I would think.
No, I
Yeah,
think
'cause I
a
already have
goatee is a
goatee.
style of
It could
beard.
be. I'm not saying it. There's no rules, and you can trim it. You can do what you want, but it's $250, and it's not going to be based on who has the longest beard, because we know who'd win. And besides that, by December, most of us will probably look like Jim Mackey.
They're gonna think we're loggers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what we should do is at the end of it, we should vote, and then whoever loses, right? We should definitely come up with a style of beard that they have to live
wow.
with for a week.
Oh, I'm good with that.
Like a giant Fu Man with handles, and
The curly
Yeah.
stash.
yeah,
The
Yeah,
handlebar
I mean, if they're
mustache.
gonna
I
win
was talking to
$250,
AC,
and you
and
do a
he
walk
said
of
that he
shame.
had that. He had the long
I
Fu
don't think-
Manchu.
I haven't done anything different with my beard probably
For-
50 years.
Since he's been on the road.
Sixth grade.
Since he's been growing it.
Yeah.
Could just throw pictures up and do like Christian said, do like a poll. Can you do that? Like a online
Facebook
deal?
poll.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trying to fake it every week. Yeah, see, it's a little hard.
So we'll figure it out. We got time, but we're starting the contest now. And just so you know, Dawson Fleet, Deaton Fleet, any Metal Arc Fleet, if you guys want to join us, just email Zach Kern and zkern@metalarcco.com, or email the show, chime in on one of the episodes in the comments, let us know you're in. $250. We just need to know who's in, and then we'll get pictures at the end. So it's open.
Why don't we do it with hair too? Why don't we just not cut our hair at the same time?
I'm not doing that. It's
I would
beards.
call Bigly win this competition.
Castaway contest.
It's
I with that too.
Zach wants to do a mullet contest.
Yeah.
He wants everybody to have
Change my
mullets.
name to Wilson
Okay,
on this.
no
thing.
shower until Halloween.
Wilson.
The no showering contest.
So that's let's do that. Make sure that if you're going to get in, if you're a driver, a listener, whoever, message the show. I'm sure you can figure out how to do it. And Zach will make sure you're put on the list. $250 giveaway. We'll do it sometime before Christmas. It doesn't have to be Christmas Day. We could do it maybe the 17th or 18th, just a little bit before the holidays. We can end it, and we'll roll with that. So, Ian, can we get into some news before we get back to some of these questions
Absolutely,
I have in
absolutely.
the conversation of the day?
Here we go. Can you all see that?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. So we'll start out with the port of Los Angeles today. They had 24 vessels in there. 18 of those were containers, 1 tanker, 1 or 3 dry bulk, and 2 cruise ships. That was just in the port. Outside the port, I calculated there was about 60 waiting ships. That's all these little green dots. Some of them you can see are not green dots, but they're these arrows out here. A lot of these guys are just drifting around. They're not even anchored. They're just floating there drifting, because there's just no room to park their ships. So another crazy week in the port of Los Angeles. They've extended hours. The guy who runs the port is reaching out to everybody possible to try and get help, but they are struggling down there. So fortunately, that's good for us. It's going to drive up rates. They're going to keep lots of freight down there, and they have been moving other container ships to other ports on the West Coast. making those areas hotter as well. I think we saw a little bit of an increase up in Washington and Oregon, not too much, but more in Washington near Tacoma there.
So do you think they're moving some of the ships north?
Yeah,
So
yeah, they're
get-
spreading it out a
yeah,
little bit.
Makes sense.
And that'll help with not only traffic coming in, but the rail traffic.
It may help.
Won't make it as congested for the rail.
It may help with some of those northwest rates too. Coming
It
up.
has been, I think.
Yeah.
Moving on. Two were arrested with connection to a body that was found in a tanker truck. Two lovely guys, Mr. Roof and Mr. Morrow. They were hanging out with their buddy, and apparently he had overdosed, and they thought the best way to handle it was to throw it in a tanker.
Like in the trailer, in the tank.
Yeah. The workers who I don't know if it was the driver, whoever was next in line to try and drain that tanker was noticing some issues, and they looked inside and saw a body and called the police.
Wow. Where was that at?
Illinois.
This was over in Illinois, Iroquois County, wherever that is. But yeah,
So they stole the vehicle too. Is that what I read? Unlawful possession of a stolen vehicle.
Yeah, so they must have. I don't know the whole story. I did see the
maybe
part
they
of the
brought the-
unlawful concealment of death.
Maybe they stole a vehicle to bring the body to the tanker.
It could have been, but yeah,
Who knows?
just tell the
insane.
truth. And then I don't know if you guys remember last week I talked about people doing the Stowaway game. We have had our first death from that. Man over in Nashville tried. He jumped on, and the driver started moving. The driver thought he was being robbed, and then he either jumped off or fell off and did not make it. That was over on I-40. The guy was hanging off of his mirror trying to open the door, and he ended up falling off and dying. So that's why authorities were trying to warn people, don't do that. What would you guys do if any of you had someone jump on the side of your cab?
Oh man.
I'd slow down as quick as
I would think that I'm being robbed too. Because
I had
I've
an
seen the Fast and the
officer-
Furious movies.
I had an officer in New York City that just swerve over to one of them poles along the side of the road and knock him off.
Jeez.
Don't worry about the paperwork. Don't worry about them. The street cleaners will get him in the morning. We don't want the paperwork. Right.
Good old NYPD.
Right.
Yeah, that was right next to Hunts Point Market there in the Bronx.
Oh, wow.
Was that in 1982?
No, it was been around 88, 89, somewhere in that area.
I think if that happened, I don't know. What would you do, Kevin?
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of like Ray. I don't think I'd stop.
I think
I've
I
seen
would.
the
I don't
Fast
think
and
I'd
the Furious
stop.
movies,
Yeah,
and
what
I
is
think
the
I'd
right
be
thing
robbed.
to do?
I don't know. If you notice them, I think I would slow down, get over. I don't want someone to die. But I might be calling 911 while I'm on the side of the road going 2-3 miles an hour.
Lock your door.
Yeah, like keeping the doors locked and calling 911. I don't think I'd get out and confront them because you don't know in this world who it is or what they're going to try and do,
yeah.
what they have. So
I'll drive to the police station and take them right to the cops.
There you go.
Mark would drive
Probably
right
the
down
best
and
one.
he'd drive down into East LA and say, "Don't worry about
Downtown.
it.
We're going to
They'll handle
Compton.
it. We're going to Compton.
Downtown.
Straight into Compton."
We're going to Watts. We're going to Watts.
Three low bridges.
We're going to Kroger. He'd find out.
Mark
Jump
knows. Mark's got some homies in the hood over there. He'd just
yeah.
drive. I'm only messing with you, Mark.
No, I would roll down the window and go, "Hey, guy, you ready? Let's ride."
on. We're at Donner's in January. That's right.
Talkin Truckin, let's ride.
Moving
That's
on.
right.
I don't know if you guys heard there was a oil spill out in California. So they have shut down the pipeline out there. So I don't know if it's a major enough of a pipeline to cause any issues with any supply chain. But they are starting to think it was because of one of these ships that are anchored out there. they think that the anchor drug on the bottom and went through this pipeline and opened it up. They're also getting criticism because after the pipeline was broken, there is a low pressure alarm that had been going on for about 20-30 minutes before they finally turned off the pipeline. So it dumped a bunch of oil.
And they think it could possibly be from one of the anchored vessels that are waiting to be unloaded. Yeah.
And then this was some news I had for Robert Selby, since he's a fan of Florida and truck stops. Love's opened up a new truck stop down in Mims, right? It's east of Orlando. I know you guys always say there is nowhere to park down there. There's another one. So
96 parking spots.
Thank you.
Just opened up.
Yes. 90, yeah, 93.
Or 93.
7 showers. Ooh, look at that.
And we get a pretty good fuel discount. What is it, Ray, at Love's typically?
About 33 cents.
Last I checked, it was about 30 to 36 cents, somewhere around there.
Yeah, straight to the driver.
Where do you check that at?
They send out an email.
Metalworks
last
sends
year they sent out an email. Yeah, they'll send you an email.
Yeah.
And we get a 10-cent higher discount if we go to Metro TA. But I personally like the Lowe's points.
Yeah.
So I'll take the hit.
I will say this, Ray. I've noticed it with some of our drivers. Christian, you may have noticed it. So with the TA and Petro ones, you may get 43 cents off there and 33 cents off at Love's, but Love's is consistent across the country. TA isn't. So you can go to a TA, and I don't know if it's because they're franchised out or what the deal is, but I've seen it. The TA Petro, you might get 14-cent discount at some of them.
Yeah,
you might get 20
cost plus versus retail minus.
Yeah, so it changes depending on the market and the TA you're at. So a lot of our guys just go to Love's, and they like the point system you get there. Also, the tire pass is nice when you're fueling all the time, because you get to use that every now and then to have your tires checked, pressure, and all that.
Well, the availability of the Loves too versus TA Petro.
That's true. Yeah.
One other thing I noticed on here is it says fresh kitchen concept. Is that something that is new, or that they have had at some Loves?
I don't know. Depends on what. I mean, most of the Loves have what, guys? Subway and the Crunch chicken place that has all fried. Chester's. Yeah. Yeah.
Greasy chicken.
Well, maybe this new one is.
Arby's, McDonald's, Carl's Jr.
They don't have
We got a dog park.
Tires.
Yeah.
Well, whoever goes down there and checks out this new truck stop, let us know what is it called?
Fresh kitchen concept. Yeah, maybe they have some better food for you guys.
Yeah, let us know.
No, what it is now they're making breakfast burritos, and they'll have cheeseburgers and hamburgers there that they make there at the Loves.
Okay.
Yeah,
That doesn't
that's
Are they gonna have suits of armor at this one too?
actually the they call them tacos, but burritos are actually pretty good. Chorizo and eggs, fajita.
You got to be
fajita,
talking about
steak fajita.
the West. He's talking about on the West Coast.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
they have them out here
they're
too.
all over.
Oh, they
Yeah,
are.
they're all over.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and then they have the waffle. What is it? I think it's a waffle sausage egg sandwich.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I was
French
thinking.
toast.
We could stop there every day before work.
I was
now.
thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking they meant by fresh concept kitchen like egg whites and turkey sausage breakfast with fruit.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Show $100.
No, come on.
It'd be like Pilot, how they have the hot
Jim
food.
Mackey said, "Come on."
They are also opening another Love's, actually not too far
all
from
you vegan
where I live. Off of Shuffle, they're building a new Love's.
Oh, are they?
Mm-hmm.
To compete with the TA? Off
Yeah, I
of
mean,
77.
there is nothing. There's nothing really in Akron, and to go down to the nearest truck stop, you have to go down to Canton, and a lot of times that TA will be full. You have to go even further south and go south of Canton to
30-40 miles down to the next.
No, there's one just on the south side of Canton. What is that,
okay.
Zach?
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
It's not a TA. No,
It's a Love's. It's not
Love's.
a
Oh,
Love.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a Love's south.
When
right
you're
south of
going to
Canton.
Myrtle Beach.
No, when you're in Ohio.
I know. We stopped there when we went to Myrtle Beach. We stopped
Oh
there.
yeah, we did. We did. So yeah, there's really not too many choices around Akron. So that'll be the closest truck stop to Akron now.
Well, somebody check out when next time you're in Florida. Check out the what's the location again?
It's in Mims. So it's just east of Orlando on right off the 95.
Right off the 95 in Mims. Check it out. Send us a picture. Let us know what that fresh concept.
Yes,
kitchen
thank
is
you for
like.
helping the parking situation down in
Yeah,
in
93
in
more
Florida.
parking
Get so many complaints about that. But moving on to the Hurricane Center. They don't really have anything going on. There is a little tiny formation of a cyclone that's off the coast of North Carolina or South Carolina and North Carolina. But that's not going to do anything. It's just going to peter out and die. So hopefully we don't have to worry about anything with that. And then last but not least, I'm going to move on over to a new segment we have on serial killers. This will be about the Zodiac for a couple of years. No, this is the Zodiac. For a couple of years,
Zach before he cut his hair.
the Zodiac terrorized the West Coast. Unfortunately, we have our resident serial killer specialist,
Expert.
Zach Kumar. What can you tell us about him?
Well, if you don't know who the Zodiac Killer is, he was a murderer who operated out of Northern California in the late 60s. He's got 7 confirmed victims. 2 of those actually ended up surviving, but he gave himself the name Zodiac because he would send letters into the newspapers and also in these
cryptic letters, right?
Yeah,
Kumar?
in these letters they had cryptograms. So they were like secret messages, and it turns out that only out of the 4 that he sent via cryptograms, only 2 were deciphered, and one of them actually was deciphered last year. They ended up finally, and this is allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly because I almost kind of don't believe it, but they think they identified him as Gary Francis Post.
Yes, it was all over my news feed this morning too, Kumar.
Yeah, he died in 2018, so he's no longer alive. But evidence of his guilt stems from he had scars on his forehead that match descriptions of the killer. And most compelling of the evidence is in one of the letters that the Zodiac wrote, you needed his name to decipher the code, and the name.
He took out all the letters of his name, right, Kumar?
Yep.
And
yeah, it was
when they did that, they were able to decipher.
Yeah. So I mean, it definitely seems like it's him, but there's also been like a bunch of other suspects. There's been like 15 that they could swear was a guy, but they couldn't peg it on him. But I mean, I hope this is him, but
it was
I'd like to see a little bit more evidence.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Kumar. I kind of follow that stuff too, and I like the movies about it. I will say what I read this morning was that the group that uncovered the decipher or whatever was 40 previous military code guys or they were FBI, CIA, law enforcement. They're all guys that have been working on this for years, and that's who kind of cracked it. So there's a lot of legitimacy to what I read.
Yeah. And the way they kind of linked him to the Zodiac was like he had he was linked to a murder in I think 1966, 2 years before the Zodiac stuff, and this was in Southern California. And the Zodiac says that he has 37 victims, even though they could only confirm 7.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe he was in Southern California for a while, and then he decided to move up after a while. And it's kind of like there's also he was more of a serial rapist, but this guy, the Golden State Killer.
Oh yeah. They caught him alive.
It was kind of like the same situation. He ended up moving after a while, so they could never peg him down because he moved 3 times, and so it was really hard to track him with that. And so that kind of paralleled to this whole Zodiac Killer guy.
Yeah, Kumar, as soon as I got out front on my front porch this morning, was having coffee, checking the weather, checking the cryptocurrency, and I saw in my news feed that was one of the top things. Immediately, I didn't finish anything. I went right to that story and read it, and I was fascinated. I'm also a Criminal Minds junkie. If anybody's ever watched Criminal Minds, there's like, I don't know, 14, 15 seasons. I've seen every one of them. And now I'm back. Tina and I love that show. And now we're back rewatching the whole thing every now and then, you know, when we have time. But yeah, I was fascinated. So Mike Doty, are you with us? Because I don't see you on screen. We might have lost him. Is he with us, Zach?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, he's
okay.
in spirit.
In spirit now. All right, we'll check it out. So earlier, guys, I was on the phone yesterday with a couple drivers, and then Christian and I got on the phone, and we were talking about a few things for a few minutes, and I missed a call from a neighbor, no names, anything like that, but really nice guy, and he said, Russ, I believe the neighbor across the street, down the street, has he has your cat. He trapped it on purpose in one of those raccoon traps.
Yeah, the
and this is I have I have one cat and two dogs. So when we got the cat, it was 6 weeks old, and our dogs were fully grown. And so this little kitten learned to live with a really big dog and a Chiweenie, and he thinks he's one of them. So every day when he started growing up, we would open the back slider, let the dogs out a few times a day and whatever. And the cat was like one of the pack. I mean, so he went with the dogs, and he'd, play with them outside or whatever, and they'd go to the bathroom. He didn't, but then when they'd come back in, he'd come back in. He got older, and he started, sometimes he'd jump the fence and take off for a few hours. And when he was full grown, and there are we live in a development, newer development, but there are some woods not far, a couple, one street over, and then it gets really rural. Well, the cat likes to go over there, so he'll go across the street between. Everybody has, the fences, like vinyl fences. He'll go between the fences and go to the woods for a few hours and play whatever he does. I don't want to know, because I don't like it when he brings stuff back. But he's a cat, and he comes back in. He's got all his shots and flea medicine, all that, and he's our cat, and we love him, and we've had him for about 4 or 5 years. So when he called me, I immediately, Christian, called him because I missed the call, and he said, text me as soon as I got off the phone with you. I said, call me soon, right away or something. So I did, and he said, yeah, he's got your cat, I think in his garage. I saw him go in a cage. So I immediately flew out the door while I was on the phone with him. I didn't even tell Tina what I was doing. I just left, went across the street. And that's all I'm going to tell you for right now. I want to know, drivers, Christian, Doty, what do you do?
Well, just some feedback real quick. You said you watched 13 shows of a murder mystery, and you went over to your neighbor's house without your wife knowing. I'm just saying that doesn't really sound like you really learned from those 13 episodes of Criminal Minds.
I'm not in jail, so I
good.
didn't go to jail.
I would have been in jail if it would have happened to me. You would have been having to bail me out. Actually, can you get bail for a murder charge?
I don't know.
Okay.
You might want to find that out before you do it, but yeah, I mean, I think it would be fine to have a conversation to make sure that he wasn't looking to trap something else. Like if he's got raccoons getting to his trash or something like that, but
he was specifically, and I'll just tell you this before I go on.
Yeah.
He was specifically trying to trap pet cats. There's no feral cats in our neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And he was specifically trying to trap pet cats. Apparently I found out, from my neighbor that called me later that night, that a neighbor on the other side behind him has a few cats, and he doesn't like them and doesn't like her dog or whatever. And so there's a war going on there. I don't know her, and I didn't know that it's kind of around the corner from me, but yeah. So he specifically was trapping pet cats, people's cats. Yeah. It wasn't like my cat wandered in a raccoon trap. It wasn't that at all.
Okay.
So what do you do, Christian?
I'm probably not the one to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't live in Pennsylvania anymore, so it probably can't be held against me. But when I was in Pennsylvania, it's just not a good scene. I mean, animals are they're family members, so
Absolutely.
that's the way I feel about it.
First of all, I was devastated. And I wasn't bawling or anything. I was mad. I was furious. Doty, what do? You could probably get away.
I don't know.
with
You
it
told
down
me
there.
what.
Next Florida man.
Just remember now, Doty has a
I
boat,
would,
so he can make stuff disappear.
Yeah, I would.
There's gators down there. Yeah.
No, I'm kind of with you. I wouldn't want to go to jail, man. It's just 10 years ago, you asked me that question. It's a different answer.
There's a lot of stuff that you can do that they never find out about. If you want to go like Jolly Roger cookbook on this thing,
Yeah.
To those that I guess I'm probably the youngest guy here right now, close to it, but I don't know. You don't want to get in trouble over it, but at the same time, I don't know what the laws and provisions of your area are either. So
I'm learning real quick, but
yeah, I wouldn't want to get. Yeah, that's the thing. I wouldn't want to get in trouble again 10 years ago.
Because where I lived, I lived 5 years ago. Like even if you had a cat, it was a dumb law, but it said if it's in the city, it has to be on a leash. I'm like, well, you mean to walk my cat on a leash?
Yeah.
So we had one that would get out, and luckily our neighbors were pretty cool about it. But
I have great neighbors, by the way. This is just one
Most of
house,
right?
And I've never had any interactions with him. I know from other neighbors that they have. He's a complete, and you're gonna need air horn for this. He's a complete. And
that was sweet of you.
And I'm being very nice, so you can mark that one, Kumar. But I've never had any run-ins with him, but I've seen some things, how he treats other people. For example, this is the kind of guy we're dealing with, and I told Doty this today. When you put out your garbage cans, you have a recycle can and a garbage can, and we put them on opposite sides of our driveway, so when the one garbage truck comes up, the arm on the truck can grab the can, put it in the thing and set it down and keep going. This guy puts them together in the center of his driveway, butted up together so that the truck has to stop and get out and manually get his trash. What did the trash guy do to you? And most of our trash guys are different anyway when they come each week. That's the kind of guy we're dealing with. He's about 60 years old, and he just hates life, I guess.
Get off my lawn. Yeah.
Ray,
I'll tell you what, I would hold a grudge and I'd be petty. Like I'd be the neighbor. I mean, you guys have seen my emails.
Yeah.
You should be called to be peacemakers. Just a reminder, everybody.
I'd be petty. Yeah, I'd be real petty, and I'd be, there'd be like a neighbor war.
I'm curious, Jim
without going to jail.
Jim Mackey, I know you love cats. I'm curious. If this
guess
happened to
right
you,
now-
what do you think you
right
do when
now-
you get that call?
I would say the law would definitely be involved.
I like it.
One way or another.
I
Yeah.
like it.
An example would be, I used to have a miniature pincher, and I put it out the door on a trolley cable so I could run it around like that and had plenty of room. Well, the neighbor had I can't think of the name of it right now, but he had a dog and they just let it run. Well, one day I looked out the window and that dog had mine on the ground. And I grabbed my pistol and I went outside and I started yelling at the neighbor, "Get your dog out of here, I'm going to shoot it." And he called the law. And they come and because I had a weapon out.
Yeah.
And the deputy, he told me, he says, "Well, if you shoot that dog, you have all the right to do that." He says, "And I will issue a ticket to you for shooting that dog." I says, "Okay, and what would that be?" He said, "For discharging a firearm in the city limits. You have a nice day." And he walked away.
Yeah.
Not just
You
a
know, so you have the right to protect your property.
I get that. But how much harm, first of all, a domestic cat that's very friendly, lives with dogs, lives in our house, sleeps in our house, and
this guy knows this cat is
and this
yours.
guy, keep in mind, he has a fenced-in yard in his backyard. He has a Doberman Pinscher, and he's talking about the front yard, which is wide open, no trees, just grass.
That's where he had the trap?
No, he had it between the fences of his neighbor.
Oh.
And my cat must have went back there to go to the woods, and he had tuna in there or something.
Yeah, baiting it. Yep.
Yep. And but I mean, I'll tell you more. But I really am
Russ,
curious. Mark
did you get your
Chavez.
cat back?
how
Did you get your cat back?
I did get my cat back. So,
Okay.
Chavez, Ray, how do they do that in Texas? It's a whole different country down there. Are you with did we lose Ray? We might have.
Probably.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Here I am. I was on mute.
How do they do it down
Yeah.
there in San Antonio? That's a whole different country down there.
Well, in San Antonio, people tend to fly off the handle a lot quicker than most, but you would have a Texas man story on your hands.
If that was your kid's cat, your
Yeah,
daughter's.
Yeah, I have a cat.
I know you do.
My kids take care of it and everything, but I love that cat. It's my cat, and I'd be pissed off too. I'd be knocking on a door at minimum and probably calling the police just to avoid any any serious interactions.
So
and hopefully they can do an investigation or something.
And the problem is the cat's in a cage on his property, so you gotta play nice guy until you get your cat back, because anything you do, he can call the cops and you're gonna end up in jail, because you're going over there to his house to get. I mean, even though it's your cat, you know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of that you're in a tricky spot, because
honestly,
it's not entrapment or anything else. I mean, I don't know what your city ordinances are, so I think that's where I would start. But I mean,
I think it boils down to how much proof do you have that he actually has the cat.
Oh, well,
no,
he has cameras all over his house. And so that is on film. And so does the neighbors on both sides across the street. So this had to have been on someone's camera. I mean, it's a nice neighborhood.
With it. Yeah.
But so here's what happened. So I hung up with Christian. Neighbor calls, tells me that I'm on the phone literally as I'm walking out my front door, steam coming out my ears. I go down the street, across the street. I go around the corner because that's where his front door is. And I go to knock on the door, and then I see him come around on his lawnmower. So I went straight at the lawnmower, and I put up my hand like, hey, and he didn't want to stop.
Let's get it.
And I got in front of the lawnmower and he stopped. And I said, and I don't care if you guys know his name. I said, Cliff. Matter of fact, I'll tell you.
That's a fake name. No, that's it. No, we're good. We're good. That's
okay.
Cliff from Cheers.
Yeah. Okay. And I said, Cliff, I know you have my cat, and I'm sorry my cat came in your yard, but I want my cat back. And he started acting like he didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, Cliff, I'm sorry. I know you have my cat. I've been called. A neighbor called me. They saw you trap my cat and carry it in your garage. I want my cat back, Cliff. I said, I'm not trying to cause any trouble here. I didn't mean for my cat to get out. He's an indoor cat, to get out and come over in your front yard. I'm sorry, but I need my cat back. I did that over and over and over again. This guy kept denying it, that I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I said, Cliff, I need my cat back. That's a family pet. And I kept going, and I was literally fuming, man. And I don't know how much further I could have done this, but I didn't do anything. And finally he said, he got off his mower, the other side, and he said, okay. He said, but I'm telling you, and this is what he's telling me while I'm following him to his garage. And all I could think about is, what did he do to my cat? What's wrong with my cat now? Because I don't know where the cat's at. And that's why I was trying to keep it civil. Plus I am civil, but we still got to live there, and I don't want problems. So I'm walking to the garage with him, and he's just yelling about, listen, I called the mayor, and the mayor said that I can catch cats that are on my yard. I clearly know that that's probably not the case. He probably, if he did call the mayor, he's probably talking about feral animals, feral cats, wild cats.
Yep.
But they're not going to tell him that. I know the mayor. He's not going to tell him, oh yeah, put traps up for people's pet cats. Come on. So anyway, I didn't say anything. He just rattling off, and these cats are crapping in my yard. And I don't see that many cats. A lot of people have cats in there, but they're not really outside. They might sneak out every now and then. And then, you call your neighbor and say, hey, I saw your cat. And it's that. So we go into the garage, and he's still yelling about, they're just crapping in my yard. And my dogs are eating the crap. And I'm like, I know this cat's never been in your backyard, because you got a Doberman. I mean, that cat's afraid of dogs other than my dogs that he's grown up with. As soon as I get in there, I see I got a big cat. He's big now, and he's in this, not so big like raccoon trap, and he's growling, like scared to death. I've never heard him sound like that. And Cliff goes to the cage and he grabs it, like rough. And he's like, I said, let me get him out. Cause I was afraid now my cat's going to scratch him on the way out. And then I'm going to get probably sued for that. So I got the cat out, and immediately the cat, he didn't do anything to me. He knows me, but he took off straight out there, out the door and into right over to my house and went. And I didn't even talk to the guy. He was still yapping stuff. I get to the sidewalk out of his yard. He says, and if I catch that cat over here again, you're not going to get him back. Yeah. You know what I did?
Never mind. I can't say
I went to jail last night. I turned around. No, I'm just kidding. I kept going. That's what I wanted to do. And I was telling another neighbor today he knew about it. And he said he knows. He said, I have the same things going on with this guy. And we just, my wife and I, we have kids, and we just look the other way because we all live here and we don't want trouble. And the guy's insane. I kept going. I went to my house. I'm fuming. Tina didn't even know what happened yet. I walk in the door and I went to the back because my cat knows to go to the back door. So he jumps the fence and goes in the back door, and I let him in. And then I told Tina what happened. And, she was, furious and upset. And, the cat was scared to death. And trust me, man, everything that you guys said went through my head. But at the same time, there's no law enforcement involved. They're not going to do anything anyway. I talked to someone today about that I know that is in law enforcement, not here in our town, but he said that you're not going to get anywhere. It's a civil matter. I did get a suggestion from someone we all know. I'm not going to mention his name either, but very well respected in our community. He told me to call the Humane Society tomorrow, let him know this guy's trying to trap domestic animals. And he said they'll probably come out there or they may at the very least, send him a letter or something.
What was he going to do with the cat?
Well,
how many has he trapped before, and what did he do with them?
Well, I did find out the neighbor that he has a problem with, she does have a cat that went missing, and he was specifically trying to trap her cats. I found out through another neighbor, and he did tell me he doesn't think he's the one. Her cat's dead, but he doesn't think that's who killed it. He said he was trapping it, or he may have trapped it, but he's not the one that did that. I don't know. That's all hearsay stuff, but that's my concern. And what if my cat gets out again? I heard what he said when I went across the street.
I'll call tomorrow.
Yeah. And I'm not going to.
Yeah. Cameras going, right?
He has cameras. Yeah.
So there's a couple things on Barberton online. It says that it's only $50 for an offense for the first time your dog poops in a neighbor's yard and you don't pick it up. And it's $100 the second time. Mm-hmm. I definitely have my dog start to poop in his yard and take the $50 and $100 fine. Then after that, I'd find out what the street ordinance is and find out whether you can park cars in front of his house. And I'd park the most ratty street legal vehicles right in front of his house. And also, so this way, when he's mowing, if he happens to hit or chip glass, anything else, but you can be a menace without being illegal. And I think it's one thing you can go over there and offer to be a peacemaker and say, look, I feel like I heard what you said.
He didn't want that.
But I want to make sure that I'm clear that this isn't a path you want to go down. I'm not here to put any, harm on you or your dogs, and you have the right to live in this neighborhood like everybody else. But the goal is we're a community and we're to get along.
Right.
And, there's a lot of people in this community that kind of frown on this kind of behavior. And I hate to have you be ostracized in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray, let's go to Barberton and regulate.
No, you might have to regen in front of his house all day.
Yeah, right on the and just happen to be on his grass where it's scorching the ground.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start practicing my wheelies over there and revving my dirt bike as well. So
I do know that another neighbor in the neighborhood that has had run-ins with him told me that he goes on tangents and he's always been like this with everybody. It's just, he said, it's just that no one understands it, but they just avoid him and they just look away. No, he's not damaging anybody's property. He's just a menace to society. And we don't know of anything, there's nothing, no one knows if he has in fact taken someone else's animal and done something with him. But when I saw my cat, my family pet that sleeps in our house, that cuddles with us, that when we're watching Criminal Minds, in a cage and scared to death, hair standing up, sounding like this scary sound that I've never heard from this, domestic pet. It really broke my heart at first, but I was just focused on getting my cat, because before that, I didn't think he was going to admit to it, and I didn't really know what to do. And I'm glad I was civil, and I'm glad I didn't say anything. I listened. I took note of what he said, but I did say enough. I apologize for my cat coming in your yard, but I know you have it, until he finally he gave me my cat, or our cat. So I had to bring that up, man, because that's a tough one. 20 years ago, I already know what I would have done. But I didn't, because we got to live there, Yeah. I'm not saying it's over. Matter of fact, I had to tell Tina today, make sure you don't put anything on social media in our town, because she's on like the city council social medias and other things for Barberton. I said, at least I needed time to digest this before I did anything. And at least let me have a minute or a day or two and talk to some people I really trust. And I did that today. And then I'm probably going to at the very least call the Humane Society and at least put them on notice that this is happening, and then let them take it from there.
I'd ask to see if you violated Goddard's law that was brought in 2016 up there in Cleveland. Have you?
Oh yeah.
Dick Goddard was a really famous weather man here in Cleveland.
Meteorologist,
my meteorologist my whole life, and he's really big on animal sanctuaries and all that. Yeah, Zach. I don't know, but at the very least, I'm gonna probably do that, because that's a civil thing to do. I don't have to call the police. He can deal with the Humane Society for being inhumane, at the very least.
And what's your cat's name?
Mr. Mustache Face, and we call him Mustachio. He's a black cat with white, and he has a white mustache. So we couldn't come up with a name, so we called him Mr. Mustache Face. We call him Mustachio.
I put it in a bucket every morning and throw it on this pressure.
There's an air horn.
Another air horn.
All right. Everybody say it.
Big laws about dogs going on his lawn, but nothing about Russ going on his lawn.
What about the helicopter guy? Can we get him to make an appearance?
Mike Busey in here.
Mike Busey. Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks for the input. Go ahead, Ray.
Question about it.
What's that?
Yeah, so if he's threatening for you not to give you the cat back, that almost sounds like a threat on the animal's life itself, and that itself, I mean, couldn't have.
We're kind of losing you. You're breaking up, Ray. But he said that itself sounds like a threat.
The Boo Boo Wireless.
In your
I love that. He didn't say I'm going to kill your cat. He just said the next time you're not going to get your cat back. So
no, he didn't say that, but you know what he meant.
But the implications of his words.
Yeah.
What is he planning to do with the cat then?
Right.
Well,
he obviously doesn't like it.
He mentioned earlier that I'm catching cats so I can take them to the Humane Society. I asked the mayor if I could do that. So, but he didn't say that when he said that at the end. He just said, if I catch your cat in my trap again, or whatever, however he said it, you're not going to get the cat back. Cause he was so reluctant to give me my cat back.
I'm going to Barberton.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
When he goes missing, Barberton chicken's going to taste a little different.
Oh, no.
Just
That's
kidding.
the special sauce.
Man.
So anyway, speaking of Barberton, Kumar, are you ready, Kumar?
I'm ready.
Christian wrote some Christian, you wrote some of those, didn't you? And I think Mackie did.
I did. I just sent it back over. I don't know which ones he used, but
yeah, I'm not sure which ones Joel's using, but Mackie, you can't answer the couple of questions.
I had a couple, but I don't think he said he was going to use them this week.
No,
he said he was going to do next week.
Okay. That's fine. But I saw both you guys had some in here. All right, let's roll. Trucking questions with Kumar. Kumar's on the line. Jim Mackey, Ray.
Good luck, Kumar.
Chavi, and
Thank
Kevin
you.
Lewis.
All right. Good luck with that.
And
Russ.
just so we know, everybody knows, Johnny Five is putting the money in this week because he was the worst in the pick'em.
The worst. I was the
The
best. I was the best.
I think Johnny Five was the worst in the 3 weeks we've done it.
Oh, Christian came in last 1 week too.
Hey, that's enough out of you.
All right, this week's questions brought to you again by Dawson Truck Lines. Here we go. You ready for this, Kumar? What is a chute? CHUTE. What is a chute? Is it A, the air deflector under the trailer? Is it B, the top of an exhaust pipe? Is it 3, the part that moves air through the reefer trailer? Or is it 4, an old school term to the flap on the floor of trucks before air conditioning?
I'm going to go
What is
with
a chute?
C.
He
Go with
says
C.
C. What do y'all say?
What was C?
One
Part
at a
that
time.
moves- Part that moves air through the reefer trailer.
Okay. What's the shoot, Mark Chavez?
It's that scoop that's underneath my trailer. It's a red one. It's the it's a chute. It's that one air deflector underneath the trailer.
The skirt?
No,
And
not the skirt.
Everybody needs to
it's-
understand Mark is in a dry van.
Yeah, he's running an axle deflector, right? You're running the plastic piece that's under the trailer,
Yeah,
not
that
the ones, not the skirts on the side.
Yeah.
No, I got that. That's that plastic piece.
What-
That's the chute.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Kumar said, what was Kumar's answer again? It was C,
Part that moves air through the
moves
reefer
air
trailer.
through the reefer trailer.
Yeah, shoot.
Jim Mackey, what's the shoot?
I'm going with Kumar on that one.
Yeah. Ray?
Kumar.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with Kumar on that one.
Kevin's ran a lot of reefers, so he knows.
Coop.
Mark, you were wrong, but the rest of the guys got it.
Yeah, but Mark was talking about is the flow below.
Yeah.
There you
No,
go.
I was talking about Troy
Wah,
from
wah, wah.
Swamp People.
Shoot him.
Shoot him.
All right, question 2. Good job, Coon. What is the maximum legal load width of a flatbed trailer? Is it A, 96 inches? Is
The
it
width.
width?
How wide?
Is it B, 102? Is it C, 105? Or is it D, 108?
And this is not a permit load, guys. So how wide is it, Kumar? What are the answers?
108.
108. What are the answers again, Joel?
96, 102, 105, and 108.
Are you talking about the load overhang, or are you talking
No,
about?
we're talking about the deck of your
Legal
trailer
width,
the deck?
the-
Okay.
standard width
of a flatbed.
102.
102.
Yeah,
Jim said.
102.
102. I
102.
know Kevin knows. It's a
Yeah,
flatbed.
102.
And the answer is 102. Come
102.
All
1 to
tied up.
1. Tied
All
up.
right.
I was close. I was
Question
close.
3. Kumar, how many miles of public roads are in the United States? Is it A, 2 million miles? Is it B, 4 million? Is it C, 10 million? Or is it D, 50 million hot dogs?
I'm going to go with C.
How many was C?
10
What was
million
C?
hot dogs.
10 million miles in the United States. How many miles of public roads are in the U.S., guys?
Anyone? Whoever wants to go
Interstate,
first.
state.
It's
I'll guess it too.
2 million, 4
I'm gonna
million,
guess
10
I'm gonna
million,
guess that 4.
or 50 million.
I
Mark,
didn't
guess
hear
says
the
two.
question.
What'd you say, Ray?
4. I'm going to guess 4.
4.
Jim has
I didn't hear-
ran all
I
of
didn't
it,
hear
so
the-
he should know.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Just
many-
look at your odometer, Jim.
How many miles of roadways are in the United States, Jim? 2 million, 4 million, 10 million, or 50 million hot dogs?
10 million.
10 million.
I don't know how they came
Like
up with
my
Kevin,
odds.
you have a
the
guess?
correct answer.
I mean, I would go with 10 million too if you're talking about all roadways.
You're all wrong except for Ray. Mr. Ray Nieto.
I got it right.
Uh,
Nice.
4 million hot dogs. 4 million miles.
Nice.
That was an interesting
Nice
question.
job, Ray.
Cheeseburger.
That was a lucky guess.
Was that one of your questions,
Wow.
Christian?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that today. I like that.
Yeah.
10 million in Russia.
By the way,
4 million in the United States.
Ian said
I mean,
10 million.
I've never had any reason to Google how many miles worth of road are there in the United States.
Neither did I until I got an email today.
I've Googled whether I can drive an 18-wheeler on one of these roads.
I like Christian's answer that Jim should know. Just look at his odometer.
Question four. What trademark name is sometimes used to refer to engine brakes? Is it A, Tommy brake? Is it B, a Jerry brake? Is it C, a coffee brake? Is it D, a Jake brake? Or is it C, the trolley brake?
The Jake brake. Yeah, I was gonna say, is it D? Is it C?
Is it so? What are the answers again? Just read the answers.
Tommy brake, the
Tommy
Jerry
brake,
brake,
Jerry
coffee
brake,
brake,
coffee brake,
Jake brake,
Jake brake,
trolley brake.
trolley brake.
It's the Jake brake.
He's got it.
Because it rhymes.
Confidently.
Break.
It rhymes. It must be.
I know the guys know. It's 2-2.
2-2. All right. Moving on. Question 5. What is a nickname for 28-foot trailers?
Hold on. Before we do this, since Johnny 5 is paying this week, it's tied. This is the tiebreaker. We should double down on. So Johnny 5 has to pay $40 if Kumar doesn't get this. If he does, then I'll pay it.
That's safe bet.
And I just got a text from Johnny 5. He said we're all good. So let's ride.
You didn't even look at your phone.
Let's go, Johnny. I'm
That's
taking
great.
care of you, buddy. So
All right.
read the question again.
Come on.
Tiebreaker, $40.
What is a nickname for 28-foot trailers? Is it the monkey trailers? Is it the pup trailers? Is it the express trailers? Is it the spot trailers? Or is it the midget trailers? 28-foot trailer. What's the nickname?
Express trailer.
He says express trailer. Jim Mackey.
Up.
Pup.
Yeah,
Ray.
Pup.
Kevin.
Pup trailer.
All right.
Trailer.
Well, Johnny, sorry about that, buddy, but you owe $40 to the St. Jude's Christmas fund.
You're welcome.
Good try, Kumar. It was
Yes.
2-3. Another good try, but you struck out.
I did like those questions. Though. They were good. They were good.
We'll have
questions.
a Zodiac question next
Zodiac
week. A little T-ball question.
Whose name
Oh,
is
yeah.
missing?
Yeah. I'm actually working on a question for like we did with the movie cards for Halloween. So we'll do that in about 2 or 3 weeks. I'll call everybody and their staff and out at Meadowlark and Dawson, and we'll come up with probably a good Halloween movie question. So
How many people did Michael Myers kill?
well, hey, while you guys are over the next 3 weeks building up to Halloween, maybe take a peek at some Halloween movies because it might be worth your while. Might be worth some popcorn. Might be worth a movie. I don't know.
Hey Russ, when we first did this, you were eating things when questions were right and wrong. Whatever happened to that part of the
Took his teeth
trivia?
out.
we ran out of crickets.
We could change it like win by what's it? Ben Stein's money. We could say like win Russ's money. So we could just have your money on the line and watch you sweat every week.
I'm gonna run over to
Just
Pet
watch you
Supplies
sweat.
Plus and grab some crickets
hey,
for the
listen.
next show.
Some live rats.
Hey, listen, I'm not the producer of the show. Zach Kern is.
Yeah.
So Zach,
Sure,
I am
you're
not
on his
opposed.
Any ideas? Send
can-
it in my email.
You know, this is episode 26. We
Something?
26, I think, right?
Something
Yeah.
like that.
So we could go
I'll eat
back.
a donut if I get it wrong.
Hey,
Sure.
I tell you what,
Cricket donut.
Kumar and I are down with another eating contest with the trucking questions with Kumar. I'll battle him. I'm pretty good at questions with Kumar.
Let's just have a hot dog eating
Hot
contest.
sauce.
I love hot dogs.
I'd hate
For
to
every
put
wrong
you guys
question,
to
you have to
shame.
eat 10 hot dogs.
What'd you say, Christian?
I'd put you all to shame.
On hot dog eating?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You might be able to, but I
My
love
heart
hot
might
dogs.
explode,
Yeah.
but we'll be fine.
I've been
New
suggesting
York,
that we do
yeah.
speed bump trivia.
Speed bump. Oh, Ray did tell me about that. I don't know
Yeah.
all the details, but someone has to ride in the back of a trunk of a car. And you go over speed bumps if they get a question wrong.
That's
With a
awesome.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ray
Yeah,
told me about
you
that.
park the car in a mall parking lot where there's a lot of speed bumps, and you ask them a question, and whoever gets it wrong, they got to drive the car over a speed bump with them in the trunk.
with the person with Kumar in the trunk or whoever's taking the questions.
Why's it gotta
Yeah.
be me? I'll get them all right.
All right. So listen, Ian, you got anything else?
Not for today. We already talked about the beard competition.
Beard competition's on.
Yeah. Zodiac hot.
Doty.
Zodiac.
Zodiac.
Christian.
Zodiac.
Not really, man. Just thinking about Mustachio over there.
Yeah,
it's still on
Me
my
too.
mind. So
Man.
sending my
it's been
love
on
to
my
Mr.
mind all
Mustache
day.
Face.
I
yeah.
wouldn't be able to sleep last night.
I'm honest to God. I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't able to sleep. I was up super early, like 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Staring at his house.
I was sitting out front in the dark, just like
with a shotgun.
Well, no, and here's the other thing. This guy's wife, and they're all rude, him and his wife and his grown kids, but she walks her 2 dogs on our sidewalk right in front of our house every morning if you're out there about 6 or so. And I sit out there, the neighbors are all nice that walk and stuff, and we wave. Not her. I was waiting this morning. She didn't go. She went the other way. But and I wasn't going to do anything. I was just, just kind of curious, like, how do you live with that? And it's not her fault. She didn't do it. I didn't even see her around, but still, I was sitting out there early and I couldn't sleep. I was upset.
Yeah.
And needless to say,
I'm mad right now just barely hearing story.
we're so our plan of attack, and it worked today.
Gonna park a swim trailer.
Well, because the cat wants to go out when the dogs go out in the morning, and he'll come right back in usually, but sometimes he'll disappear for an hour or two. So what we're doing is we got, he likes wet food, but we kind of balance his diet so we don't give it to him all the time. I told Tina, I said, we got the wet food. I said, for now, every time we're going to let the dogs out to go out, just give the cat wet food. That distracts him. He goes over there because he loves it. And then we can let the dogs in and out.
One of your dogs.
Yeah.
So, and then she's like, but then he's going to be totally, I said, yeah, he's going to be totally unhealthy, but he's going to die inside, fat and happy. He's not going to get, trapped and God knows what. So
Diabetes.
yeah, we're going to do that for now. We'll see.
I'm going to come to South, to Barberton and, dish out a little South Central.
That's what I'm talking about.
Justice.
A little street
South
justice.
Central
That's what I'm
justice.
talking about.
Cholos.
Let's go.
It makes me mad. It makes me mad though for somebody to do that to an animal. That kind of it really pisses me off.
He's got nothing else better to do.
Well, I think we should have a Talkin Truckin conference here on Saturday in your neighborhood one time. You show up. I'll wear Raiders gear. It'll look intimidating, right?
There you
That's
go.
like
There you go.
so one of the big things down here, and I think it's people that move from up north or wherever, and they buy a house on the water, and then there's been videos of this, and people fish around the dock. The water is not, no one owns the water. You can fish the docks. You're just careful about it, kind of, respectful. And there was this lady out there just spraying her hose at these fishermen. And it went viral on all the fishing pages around here. So they created a tournament. It was called Fish Joyce's Dock. And it was a fishing tournament. And I'm not even kidding you. Like a couple hundred boats showed up.
Nice.
Wow. That is awesome.
To fish her dock. And it became an annual tournament.
Yeah,
That's
Russ,
great.
your street might
Yeah.
become a truck route very soon.
Well, a really good friend of mine that's definitely well respected and high up in Barberton, he knows about it. I talked to him about it today. He said, Russ, there's 2 older ladies in Barberton. They donate a ton of money to the community foundation for they're cat ladies, they're sisters, and I guess they're loaded or whatever. And so he said, at the end of the day, if you don't do anything other than, or even call the Humane Society, you could give them a call and they'll have a group of picketers and people from, animal rights. And he actually said this. He said one time at a city council meeting, there was feral cats, not in our neighborhood, but downtown by Lake Anna, there was feral cats. So the city allowed people to trap them and remove them and take them somewhere else, not to harm them or anything. And before it happened, I guess he said it went to the city council. He said, Russ, it was the biggest turnout of citizens and activists over those cats at a city council meeting ever. He said that you could have said that we're raising everybody's taxes 20% and you wouldn't have had as many people show up. So
you don't mess with cats.
True.
Yeah. I've talked to a lot of people today. I just wanted to kind of get my feet under me, and I didn't overreact and I didn't do anything that was disrespectful to anybody. And I just sometimes I believe and maybe, take this with a grain of salt for everybody, but sometimes if we take a step away and sleep on it and give it some thought, cool off before we do something that could cost us money or get us in trouble later. Yeah, I mean, it's hard.
Yes.
It's hard.
Well,
that's wisdom. Yes,
it's hard.
If you would have trained the cat properly, it never left the property anyway.
There's nothing you can do. That guy's already miserable.
Yeah, and that's really what I got.
Hey, I got a suggestion. We should probably put him in the prayer group. Put your neighbor in the prayer group.
There you go.
Well,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a good idea. You know what? One thing Tina said to me this morning, because I have some guys working in the backyard still, doing a couple things. We've
bury him. Good idea. They'll never find him.
So,
the pool's already in.
Tina was no, that's all done. Yeah.
Just find a tanker truck. I heard that's pretty popular too.
But Tina walked out the front door and she was headed to the office this morning, and I was waiting on the guys to show up because I meet with them first. We talk and then I come in. So Tina comes out. She was saying bye to me on the porch, and I was still fuming about it. And she could tell I'm still talking about it to her. And that was this morning. And she said, Russ, he's not living rent free in my head. Mm-hmm. And she smiled and went on to work. And that meant I thought about that all day. She's, I'm not saying she's not going to put it in groups eventually in Facebook or animal groups. She's just not letting him live there. Right. And I was all night.
Yeah, it's a mustard seed. It's not an oak tree, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's smart. I admire your patience and your self-control, because 80% of the guys that you're talking to on the show might have gone a different direction. So
I'm 49. I would have done it completely different, even in my late 30s.
Straight lie to you.
I think even in my early 40s, I might have 5 years ago, I might have done it different. I don't know, but I bit my tongue really hard. And
you should definitely stand on the sidewalk and have your coffee every morning, so she has to walk past you with her dogs.
Right.
It's just subtle things like that. Like sit there, just sit there and drink your coffee.
Stand in front of their house with my coffee on the public sidewalk, just staring in at their house.
And when she walks by, say, "Hey, how you doing? Can I get you a cup of coffee? You want some coffee?"
Yeah.
Just be like really over the top.
Absolutely over the top. Yeah, like Ted Lasso. Yeah.
I told a friend of mine that
when I was in the neighborhood, Mom said, "Kill him with."
What'd you say, Jim?
That always hurts worse. Mom always taught me that kill him with kindness. That hurts worse.
I wasn't kind, but I was respectful, and I didn't say anything other than "I'm sorry" to my cat, but I want my cat. And I was very firm. And I had to do it 10 times till he took me serious. And I can't believe it took that long, because he was denying it. But I don't know. I was surprised. I even told Tina, I am surprised at myself. I know what I would have
put a little glyphosate
years ago.
Spread it across his yard will die. I mean, stuff like that. Nothing big.
However, the neighbor, another neighbor of mine told me, he said, Russ, the problems when we've had problems with him, I've seen other people, if you so much as look at him the wrong way, he'll call the police, make a police report saying he feels threatened. He said, I've seen him do that before. I haven't witnessed that, but he said he's just that's who he is. Any chance he gets to, if he's going to feel threatened, the police are going to come. So
just put a sign in your yard. If you have a lost cat, ask Cliff. I mean, it's pretty easy.
Right. I like
there you go. There you go.
Sorry.
Let's make him famous.
Yeah, I'll mute my mic.
Well, there's one lost one already in the neighborhood. That's his other neighbors. I found that out today. So it's never been returned. But anyway, thanks guys for listening. Thanks to all our listeners. We're having fun doing this show. We got some pretty exciting things. I talked to Doty about it. I talked to Christian about it last night before all that happened. We're not going to announce it right now, but we got some pretty exciting things coming up in November for the show. And we'll talk about that as we get closer. With that, anyone else got anything? That's it. Truckworx of Kenworth, Dothan, Alabama. Thanks, Brian, for all you do. Over the Road Apparel. We're talking to them now, Zach, right? About getting some more t-shirts for our drivers and t-shirts for the office. Work clothes for the modern day trucker. Prime Wellness and Performance. Louis Vasquez Place in San Antonio, Texas. And be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you don't have anything else, go Browns, go Indians, and go Browns, go Guardians.
There you go.
And go Cavaliers.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Love you, Mustachio.